Oh, hey there. This is Attempting International Recipes, and in this episode, we're making street toast from Korea. There is someone in my household who is absolutely infamous, and her name is Toast Lady. When my mom and I went to Korea a few years ago, for breakfast, we were staying kind of in Myeong-dong. For breakfast, we would go down to the street, and there she was, Toast Lady. She was amazing. This woman had a cart, and essentially it was like the cart was like this table, but it was all one skillet. And she had the single largest slab of butter I've ever seen in my life. She would butter up the skillet, make toast, and then this amazing egg mixture that was like perfectly aligned. And you ended up getting the best egg sandwich you've ever had in your entire life. Toast Lady is essentially a saint in my household, and we have tried to replicate her magic before. But this time we have an actual recipe. So I found a recipe off Manchi where she makes Korean street toast. Now, the other name for Korean street toast in actual Korean is Gilgeori, which I'm very bad at pronouncing Korean words. I think I'm very close to saying that, but it's Gilgeori. There you go. Somebody else is going to pronounce it much better than I can. Manji herself will probably pronounce it well. I will link her video on how to make this type of toast down below. This is me attempting it. She's better with actual instruction. And the point of this whole series is that I am not a professional chef. I am just your average cook trying to travel the world in my kitchen. There are fails on this show, there are successes, but most importantly, I try new recipes from around the world. So the first thing I need to do for this recipe is shred some cabbage. Now, this is the other amazing thing about this type of street toast is there's cabbage that's like finely shredded with some like matchstick carrots in there. It makes it so filling that like you have this for breakfast and then you are ready to walk all over Seoul all day because you've had this amazing, fulfilling breakfast. And so I gotta shred some cabbage. I'm so organized this time around too. After my like Swedish princess cake fiasco, I bring all of the ingredients right next to me for any recipe. I'm trying to slowly become a semi-legit cooking show. Alrighty, let's see if I can kind of like slowly chop this to get it shredded fairly fine. I am actually going to be making 3 of these today, tripling her recipe. Nope. No help or pause. I'm actually going to be making 3 of these sandwiches today, tripling her recipe. It is for 1 sandwich, so you will see me making much, much more than 1 sandwich today because I have people over to share this with. Now, she says that we need 5 to 6 ounces per sandwich. Let me go weigh that. That's about 10 ounces. We're gonna need just a bit more. $15. Alrighty. We have our shredded cabbage ready to go. I am also going to cut up, she says we need 2 tablespoons of sliced onion. I have a single shallot, and since I'm tripling the recipe, I think 1 shallot will give us the flavor we need. All right. I'm excited because this is the first savory food I've actually made on Attempting International Recipes. Everything else has been a baked good. And then we need 2 green onions as well. So in reality, I need about 6 of these, I think. Yeah, 6, jeez. And now's a perfect time to tell you I'm wearing one of my favorite souvenirs from Korea that I got. This is a Korean apron that I found. I actually can't remember. I think we kind of found it somewhere in Myeong-dong, and aprons make good souvenirs. You can use them every day. All right, and then 1 tablespoon of matchstick carrots. I have some of those pre-cut. I'll put them in a sec. Now we got everything prepped. It says combine cabbage, onion, green onion, and carrot in a medium-sized bowl. Let's get all this in here. We're needing a big bowl since I've tripled this. Gonna just do a handful of these because it's 6 tablespoons-ish. That looks good. All right. Grab and release the mixture with your hand to soften everything a bit. Add salt, crack the egg, mix well with a spoon. All right. I'm gonna try and massage this a bit. I might try and tear up some of that cabbage a bit more, just because I remember the cabbage was like an element of this, but it wasn't the main part. You kind of want it to have a bit of a homogeneous texture, I think. This is the food I remember the most from my trip to Korea, though. I don't have any real video content or anything of it. I have a couple of snippets, but I went before I had a YouTube. One of my favorite places I've ever gone. I went to visit a friend who was teaching English there. We went to Seoul, Busan, went to Everland, the like random theme park there. It was a blast. I love going to Korea. All right, now we need 3 eggs in here. Now, if I feel like I've got too much cabbage in here, I will put in another egg. I'm thinking it could benefit from 1 more egg. It'll just help keep everything together a bit better. Now in Korea, you can get this with cheese on it. You can have like ham too. I like just the simple egg and cabbage one, because I did go back to the Toast Lady multiple times during my trip. She clearly had the best cart on the street. I'll see if I have a photo or video of her. If you go to Korea, find her. She's amazing. She is near the L7 Hotel in Myeong-dong. At least when I went, that's where she hung out. The best toast of your life. Toast Lady will change your life. All right, this is looking like everything's coated. All right, and from here on out, we need to go over to this side of the kitchen. Over here, I have one of those stoves that there's like this built-in skillet piece that can go over 2 of the burners. I have like put some butter on it to season it some. I'm gonna start heating it up. And like I said, the Toast Lady in Korea had the single largest slab of butter I've ever seen in my life. Like it literally was like 1 foot by 1 foot, and she would grease the entire skillet with it. I just have my stick of butter here. You do want a decent amount of butter for this. That is if you want to replicate Toast Lady. Okay, it says heat a large skillet over medium-high heat. Reduce the heat to medium. Rub and melt about 1 tablespoon of butter into the skillet. Coat evenly. There we go. Add all of the cabbage mixture to the skillet and roughly shape into the shape of a rectangle with your spatula. All right. I think I'm gonna need to make 1 sandwich at a time, because you're supposed to kind of at the same time toast the bread and be making the egg sandwich part at the same time. I've got 2 pieces of kind of a thick bread. They say use milk bread. This is the closest I can get it like from a grocery store here. Oh, we've got those 2 ready to go. I'm gonna take 1/3 of this. I'm gonna put it on the part closest to me. And so they said roughly shape into a rectangle. That's looking good. I'm gonna get my actual spatula out and really go in. They do shape this perfectly if you get it on the street. Add cabbage mixture to the skillet, shaped roughly into the rectangle with your spatula. Cook for about 2 to 3 minutes over medium heat. Keep shaping the patty until the bottom turns light brown and crispy. The dimensions should be a little larger than your slice of bread, which, shabam, it is. I said do this till the bottom turns brown. I'm not seeing that happen yet. And again, this skillet thing doesn't necessarily heat evenly. Alright, I feel like it's still not cohesive yet. I'll give it just a sec. I'm going to place these 2 pieces of toast up here. Start goldening. I'm a little scared to flip this thing. There's potential I should have added more egg. I don't know if this recipe necessarily does well being like increased in size. The other thing I can do is I can pop a lid over it to kind of help it heat. You know what, I'm gonna do that. I have this cast iron lid. I'm gonna trap some of the heat in there. Hopefully it'll kind of help cook the top a bit too. Don't want to burn my toast back here. Ooh, wow, that's cooking fast. Okay. I do like how simple and quick this is. Like, it's a very ingenious, easy recipe. It's super healthy. It's super filling. It's just good. Let's take a peek. The bottom's definitely browning up. Whether it's like cohesive enough to flip, I don't know. Let's just... Alright, you know what? I think it's flippable. Come in at the side. Oh, yeah! 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 Alright. I'll let that keep going. The toast is looking gorgeous. Get some of that butter sopped up in there. I am so glad that that actually stayed together. I was a little worried. I'm also very glad I added an additional egg because it would not have made that happen without it. All right, got a plate. This part of the stovetop is not hot. I've checked. Got it waiting right there. I'm gonna check the bottom of this. Okay, we're looking good. I think I want a little bit more toast, but I'm gonna go ahead and transfer my toast over here because you do something kind of unique with the toast. It says, place a piece of bread on a large plate, add cooked cabbage, and then you sprinkle it with sugar. And I remember this about the Korean street toast. It was this sweet, salty, yummy deliciousness. So I'm gonna take a bit of sugar. I'm gonna sprinkle it directly on both pieces of bread. And then I think we're ready over here. I'd pop that guy right there. Now, ooh. Here's the secret. A little bit of ketchup on top. All right, just started doing a crazy rainstorm out there. I am gonna turn this down a bit so it stops steaming quite so much and show you our delicious looking sandwich. Now you take a little bit of ketchup, you put that on top, a little bit of sugar, or a lot. I like the sweet and saltiness of it. Place that on top, and you know what I just realized? I don't think I'd salted the cabbage mixture. I was supposed to. I am gonna put some salt on this directly. You should put salt in the cabbage mixture. I told you I'm not a pro chef, and these are the kind of things I do. That rainstorm is really, really intense. I'm gonna go shut the door. All right. Let's give it a taste and see if it reminds me of my trip to Korea. That is so good. And it absolutely makes me think of my trip to Korea. This is a great recipe for it. Absolutely. Absolutely amazing. I could eat like 10 of these. They're so delightfully good. I love them. If you like trying to do international recipes, you like spooky content, you like anything international, spooky, or food, be sure to like and subscribe to the Fruit Salad Social YouTube channel. I'll see you next time. Bye!